Back with another update. Man, so I've had an adventure with 2080 Ti. I don't know if I think I may have already updated my channel, but I got a really good deal on a used 2080 Ti local. It came out of an Alienware Aurora, and it's basically a reference PCB, and it was a 300A card, meaning that it was you could say they're bend, but they're not necessarily. NVIDIA released non-300A GPU cores to certain manufacturers that don't overclock as well. Um, like they're pretty much limited to like 1890 megahertz, and they'll only do like 280 or 310 watt. This is 300. Well, that one was 300A. Anyhow, long story short, it came with a Micron memory. And I also got a Fantex Glacier water block along with it for $750. Is an incredible deal. But the previous owner was using the Alienware thermal pads in conjunction with the water block, because they had even gone out and created like this really elaborate backplate with like these deep, like I would say about a half-inch thick aluminum backplate with these deep channels with fans placed on them, because he's a machinist. And I'm like, why did you do this? I'm thinking to myself, why did you do this? And when I got the card, I didn't want to use that backplate, and I noticed that, oh my God, like that backplate was so hot, like you could literally cook an egg on that backplate. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And what was happening was basically the the factory thermal pads weren't thick enough to make adequate contact with the water block. So the memory modules, the only way that they were mitigating the heat was out through the backplate, because on the Alienware Aurora, there's these thermal pads that are placed on the top of the PCB between the backplate and the PCB, and that's why the backplate was getting so hot. Well, what I did is I didn't like the way that backplate looked, and so I upgraded the backplate to EK's backplate. And in the process, per EK's recommendation, they don't include thermal pads where the backside of the memory modules are on the PCB. And I was like, wow! When I first got this black backplate, I noticed that literally my GPU core had dropped by like 5 degrees. Like it was running like around 50 degrees, and it had dropped down to like 42 degrees, 43 degrees. Like, holy shit, this backplate is fantastic. Because I basically, the way I have my system running, I have my radiator set up to push, and they're pushing out of the case. And I got this 140 millimeter fan down here pulling from the ground, and I got the rear 140 millimeter fan turned around as intake. And I have two rads. I got a slim 420 in the ceiling, and I got a 360 PE in push pull here. Anyhow, so that card, as soon as I change out this backplate, which looks amazing, I love the way it looks. GPU core temps went down, and I didn't think about it at the time, but the reason why the GPU core temps had gone down was because previously the memory heat was going up through the back of the PCB, through the thermal pads, into the backplate, and down through the GPU core into the water block. And that's why the GPU core temp dropped, for the most part. And I would say about 3 or 4 days after putting this backplate on, that card died. It had Micron memory, and that card was dead. So it's part my fault, it's part the fault of the previous owner. I should have known better. And you know, I'm not completely new to this. I've been into PCs since 2011, 2010, 2011, and I've built a few PCs. This is my second PCs. I've had a few laptops. But I checked, because you can see in here, you see that right there? That right there is the VRM. That's the MOSFET. You see it's making contact with the thermal pads. Well, same goes for the memory. You see right there, you can see there, those memory modules are making contact with the water block. And I gave it a visual inspection, and it looked like that for the most part. But I don't know what else to conclude. Obviously, it was not making adequate contact because those memory modules cooked to death. Anyhow, then COVID-19 happened, and you couldn't get 2080 Ti anywhere, and the cost had gone up on eBay, and I shopped around, and then I wanted to salvage this water block, you know. So I had this water block. So I was looking for another reference PCB, and I found one on Craigslist. I live in the SF Bay Area, and I found this one has been sitting on Craigslist for like a month and a half, and it's basically EVGA XC2 Ultra, and it's basically an XC Ultra, but with the ICX sensors from the For the Win 3. So it's fantastic because you can actually see. There's various temp sensors placed on the PCB, like around all the memory modules and also the VRM power delivery area. So you can see what the temps are. And for me, that was great value, because the reason why the last card died was because, I mean, aside from touching the backplate, like, oh, that's piping hot. I don't have an IR thermometer. I should get one. I don't have one, and I didn't know how hot the memory modules were. Had I known that they were probably 90 degrees, which is probably what they were, but they were probably 90 to 100 degrees before they cooked to death, then I would have known that there was a problem. But with this card, I can see what the memory temperatures are. And this time around, I'm using adequate thickness thermal pads, and the temps are fantastic. The temps are they're about 5 degrees higher than GPU core. So I see about 45 degrees hot on the high end on GPU under load, and memory will be like around 50, 52. So this is actually a pre-update video update, because I actually have some really nice stuff waiting to go in here. I have a Barrow distribution plate that's going to sit right here, and it's going to replace this pump res combo here. And I have hard tubing. I got acrylic hard tubing. I'm going with acrylic for a few reasons over PETG, and primarily among them is that acrylic holds up much better to ultraviolet radiation. My apartment gets a lot of sunlight in the afternoons, and once the sun gets down to about, especially in the winter when the sun's lower, but like around 4 or 5 p.m., the sun can actually, if I don't close the blinds, the sun will actually, it'll be directly hitting the PC, and so that actually happened. I just moved here about 6 months ago, and yeah, all this tubing became incredibly discolored. Like, it looked like nearly lime green, and it was from the sunlight. So I went with acrylic because it's much more resistant to that. PETG is a little bit more resistant than soft tubing, but you'll ultimately find yourself in the same situation. It'll just take twice as long. It'll take like 2 years instead of like 1 year of indirect sunlight, and you'll have discolored tubes. And a few other reasons why I don't like PETG, or I didn't want to go with PETG. One of which is that it's not, well, it's not as clear. PETG isn't as clear as acrylic. That's not the main reason. The main reason is that from a safety standpoint, PETG will deform at water temperature above 55 degrees Celsius. If you know a guy, is it Science Studio? He's a YouTuber. It was formerly Science Studio, and now it's Greg Salazar. Yeah, so he recently did a build with this monstrous AMD chip. I think it was like a 16 or 32 core AMD chip, and it was like a mini ATX motherboard and a really confined case. And he was at the start of the video, he's talking about how he likes PETG over acrylic, and acrylic's garbage. And what happens in the video? Well, at the end of it, one of the tubes dislodged somewhere in the loop. I think it was from the water. I think it was from the pump. But what happened here is that the water gets too hot because PETG isn't very. It's not very solid. It's basically like you think of acrylic, and then they throw in rubber. They throw in the crap from the cheap rubber, and let's mix that together, and you got PETG. PETG deforms with high temperature. So I think it's about 55 degrees Celsius water temperature, and he was hitting that because he only had like a 240 millimeter rad. Yeah, that tubing became deformed and dislodged, and he had a nightmare. He had water got in the GPU. I think the GPU failed. It got in the PSU. It's just monkey business, and so that's reason number 2. Reason number 3 is what's called permeation, where I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see that right there, the water level? Now that was full as of about 2 weeks ago when I swapped the GPU out from the 1080 Ti to this. that was full. And I've already lost, like, what is that? I mean, granted, I have to break this up into 5-minute segments or 10-minute segments because Samsung won't let you take longer than 10-minute videos. But it's okay. I will string these videos together with I use a Vidimux. I'm not a professional YouTuber, but I use a Vidimux and I'll string the videos together. Anyhow, permeation is that the water actually evaporates out of the loop, and it'll do that with PETG as well. And another thing with PETG is, I mean, the only advantage of it is that it's more impact resistant and it's easier to cut. So, you know, that easier to cut, I mean, dude, I got like 4 runs because I'm using the distro plate. It's not hard. I got like 4 90-degree angle bends. I'm not doing multiple bends. Well, that's why I went with the distro plate. I mean, aside from the distro plate looking cool, that's why I went with the distro plate. I didn't want to do a bunch of crazy bends. And the impact resistant aspect, I mean, that's great if you're gonna swing a hammer around in your case. And I've seen these videos where they go, yeah, look at how much better PTG is compared to acrylic, and they put the PTG down literally on the table and they hit it with a hammer. And they're like, yeah, see, it takes that, and then they take the acrylic tube and they hit it with a hammer. And they go, oh, it's garbage because it didn't sustain the blow from the hammer. I mean, this is idiotic. What scenario do you envision swinging a fucking hammer around in your case? But anyhow. That's why I went with acrylic. And, you know, honestly, amateurs use PETG. If you're an amateur, go with PETG. I wanted to go with acrylic because I learned my lesson with this bullshit here. This EK DuraClear, not only did I have the tubing become completely discolored, but I ended up with, like, plasticizer in my loop. Like, when I was, I've seen, like, grain crap on the bottom of this radiator, and there's no way to get plasticizer out. Like, you're fucked. Once you get plasticizer in your loop, you're done. And I just figured I'd skip over the bullshit and go straight to acrylic. I should have gone acrylic from the get-go, but you know, I had to learn my lesson with EK DuraClear soft tubing, and I had a plasticizer problem, discolored tubes. That's fine. It's the learning process. Anyhow, I'm making this quite lengthy. I have a tendency to ramble on. I apologize. I just wanted to show you guys that I love this card. I really lucked out with this card. This card does 2070 megahertz with an undervolt. So it'll do 2070 megahertz at what is it? This is Wallpaper Engine. This is a cool looking one. There's some really cool looking ones on Wallpaper Engine. Let me show you some other ones. Let's see. That one's whatever. That's a nice one. This is a nice one too. This is an Alienware 3418DW. I have it at 120 hertz. They come 100. You can overclock them to 120. I've had mine at a 120 since 2017. No problems. Honestly, Halo was awesome on the original Xbox, but I'm kind of burnt out with Halo. I'm like not a fan of it anymore. And this one's represent Alienware. Yeah, I got some really new cool ones. Oh, that's a nice one. It's a McLaren. Okay. I got a Zelda one. I got a slutty Zelda one that looks awesome. Actually, I really like this one. This one's very nice. Yeah, if you guys are still on 16:9, I highly recommend going ultra wide, dude. There's no going back. If you're in for the killer upgrade, honestly, this is the best upgrade I've ever had. This ultra wide monitor is fucking fantastic. It is fantastic. IPS, really good monitor. There's a successor to it. This is a 3420 DW, I believe. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. Sadly, I have to enjoy the game at 16:9. Where's my slutty Zelda? Slutty Princess Zelda, where are you? Okay, no. Pray, that's a cool game. No. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, I'm gonna have to give up. She's in here somewhere. Let me see. Slutty Princess Zelda. This is like, honestly, this is like because I come in here like every maybe 2 weeks to check out the new ones. Here it is. This is the coolest wallpaper engine ever, dude. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I've done a proper update, but I have new peripherals. I got Logitech G815, G Pro Wireless, I got proper surround now. I have the Logitech Z9. I guess I'm becoming a Logitech fanboy. Logitech Z906. Where was I? Oh, that's right. Overclocks. So, yeah, this thing, let's see, what game should I fire up? I guess I'll fire up F1 2019. Yeah, F1 2019. I've been enjoying this game. This game is quite enjoyable. I don't know how I'm going to hold this, and how, yeah. I look like a Borat. I look like a Borat. Very nice. How I'm going to play and show you the clocks. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll pause the game. Okay. Let's see what it's starting out. Oh, I got myself on macro. So let me run my overclock. Okay, there we go. 2085. Well, it's because the card's cold. But yeah, 2085. It'll do 2085 up until about 37C, then drops on to 2070. But you can see here where VCore is, all the way to the right. That's the voltage of the GPU. And then what level of ICX2 is that? You have memory. The green line, that's the memory modules, and then power, that's all the VRM. So they're all running kind of cold, but there really isn't a lot of load on it right now. It's a pause, starting menu. Okay. This is a good racing game. The last racing game I played before this was Forza Horizon 4. I'm digging this game. Okay. Okay. Let's see what the load is. 92. 120 FPS. I can try to roll out to the track. Yeah, let's go. Drive out. Drive out.
Like a rubber out on track.
Yeah, I play with the controller. Okay. And the ultra wide is, oh my god, it's fantastic. Like, irrespective of the genre, like whether it's third person, like, oh, Ghost Recon Wildlands. I actually have a video. I will include a link below. I recorded some gameplay from Ghost Recon Wildlands after their oh, I can't steer. Yeah, this is amateurish. I got video of this down below. I actually recorded some footage of F1 2019. I just want to give you guys an idea. So yeah, 2085, but that will drop down to 2070 at 39 degrees, and it will drop down to 2055 above 39 degrees. So like, 43. It usually ends up around 43 degrees. It'll top out around 45. It'll hit 47. It depends on ambient, how warm it is in the room. But just to give you guys an idea, look at those memory temps, man. Yes, love it. Oh, stewards have black flagged me. Anyhow, I got footage of this below. I'm gonna exit out of here. Okay. Anyhow, so this is my pre-hard tubing update. It's gonna be. I got the hard tubing. Let me see. Let me show you guys. I got my hard tubing in here. I got my heat gloves ready to go. I got my, oh yeah. I went with Bixby fittings this time around. I got everything ready to go. Just waiting. Actually, I need two hands to do this. But I got my distro plate in there, ready to go. And I'm looking forward to this. Anyhow, sorry to ramble on and get a bit too descriptive with things. This is gonna look a lot different. Hopefully all goes well, because this is going to be my first time dabbling with hard tubing. I've seen enough YouTube videos. I know what to do. I only have to do a few 90-degree angle bends. I have everything I need. I got the heat gun. I got the saw. I got everything I need. I have the tool to chamfer with. Anyhow, this video is going to come to a close because I'm at my 10-minute limit. Let me know what you guys think. This is just going to be an update before an update. Thanks for watching. Adios. I will include some benchmarks too below. I got Port Royal, Timespy, Firestrike. Yeah, Port Royal really responded to the memory overclock. Anyhow, running out of time. Thanks for watching. I'm going to update soon. Bye.